In the meantime, what happened?
I opened my beer.
I opened my beer. Oh my god!
And guess what? Guess which one it is?
It's not the whistle, is it? The steam. Classic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. You know, I have a
Joe, what is the plan? Sorry, man. Music is getting me hyped up, man. I am ready.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going live, but yeah.
I like to sneak it up on you.
Yeah, we have a long-term plan, which is I like this so much, and I drink almost every episode. That I believe, that I hope that someday they see this and they will send me some free beers.
Bro, I think that is an excellent strategy, right? I think that is a goal that you and I both have, where hopefully maybe one day we'll get sponsored by one of these companies that we drink for free. So hey, if you're out there watching, if you're from the favorite of beers of Joe, or you see any of the cocktails that I drink, you know, feel free, shoot us up. Maybe, hey, it is a good Thursday. I think that I might just give some beer money out today, Joe. I think I just might do it. Yeah, I'm hyped up. I'm pumped up. The state of the economy is weird, so why not give out free beer money? I'm sure somebody could use it, right? Somebody needs it.
Not only the state of the economy, but so many other things are weird these days, huh?
Hey man, you're not lying. You are not lying, brother. You are not lying. I think that out of all the craziness that's happening, and I feel bad because there's a lot of people that are getting impacted right now, right? A lot of people with all this stuff that's going on, but we're gonna get through this shit together. I promise you that. We're gonna get through this shit together.
Yeah, I don't want to get political here, because I know this is a very...
Don't get us canceled, Joe. Don't get us canceled.
Yeah. So people are with their feelings very, very high, and they get this very seriously. But
yep,
man, I am listening to a lot of news on the radio and watching TV these days, and I didn't know, man, how much this area, this region that southeastern Ontario is so high connected. It's so connected with the US. So Detroit and Windsor. So Detroit is on the US, Windsor is in Canada.
Yeah.
And they have the auto industry.
Oh yeah,
are
definitely
connected. They are intertwined in
dude.
a way that, you know, the same piece, like they build stuff on the both sides and they send, you know, to the other side, and vice versa, and back and forth. They were saying that some parts of the car cross the border up to 8 times.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Redneck Vet, thanks for showing up, brother. We drinking out. My boy Joe's got a nice beer, a Canada beer. He let me. He brought one from Canada to Vegas, and I tried it. It was delicious. Yeah. So he's drinking that, and I agree. We'll jump right into that conversation. But since somebody was asking what are we drinking, my wife, she was actually in Kentucky this week for some military business, right? She was over there. I'm not going to talk about what she does. I don't want to get in trouble. But she got this for me, which is good because, you know, since my wife's been pregnant, you know, almost 6 months now, right? Not 6 months, like four months. I'm a little early. I'm jumping the gun there. But I have been not drinking like that, right? Even when we had our show at the end of the season one, I was drinking like bubbling water. So she thought of me, got this in Kentucky, Maker's Mark, Bill's Recipe number 46. So I know we call it bots and beers, and you're right. Half the time I'm drinking whiskey, but I thought, hey, what a great opportunity. My wife just got it, Maker's Mark, yeah, that's right, and a vet, and why not crack it on the show? So anyway, the automobile industry, right? Like, you are not lying, man. Like, the automobile industry is wild. Dude, I don't know if you've been seeing it, and we touched on it like last week, but man, changes continue to happen to UiPath. Bro, yes. I continue. What is going on? I know we tread lightly, but I love UiPath and the software, but I'm seeing a lot of motion, a lot of activity over there.
Yeah, me too, man. And yeah, we were just in a call earlier today and with UiPath and with this agentic movement, right?
Yeah. They're really they're doing it. Go for it. Yeah.
I don't know if the people that left the company were not up to the challenge, or if they saw something there that they didn't like. It's really speculation here if we say something, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
But indeed, they are on some not rough times, but
some interesting times, to say the least.
Times, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think that's happening there? I don't know, honestly.
You know, to be honest, I'm concerned, Joe. I'm going to be the first to admit. I've been a part of this rodeo with UiPath and RPA for almost a decade now, right? And I mean, for those of you who listen in or aren't familiar with Joe and I working in high tech, right? High tech itself is the frontier of IT, like technology. And so the thing about high tech is it's a wave, right? It's a wave, and it splashes on shore. And if you don't keep going back out and hopping on the wave, right, eventually you're going to get washed up on shore. That's just the way that the market is. And when you hop on it, there's no telling whether, you know, how big it's going to be, right? When I started RPA 10 years ago, is there any way I could truly say like all the companies would spend billions of dollars on the software? I mean, it's really hard to tell. So to answer your question, why am I concerned? I'm concerned because I'm trying to understand the direction. I'm trying to understand the direction of the organization. There's a lot of changeover, and I know that they're one thing that UiPath is really good on is reinventing themselves, right? Truly listening to the customers, finding out what the next big solution is, and really driving it forward. And while I'm incredibly bullish on the end state of LLMs and the end state of, you know, AI and what we're going to do with that and agentic AI, I just get this sense that there's a lot of you know, I'm blindfolded and I'm kind of throwing darts at the dartboard and really trying to find the biggest solution. One thing UiPath has been really good at previously was acquisitions and stuff like that. And I'm just interested to see where they're going, right? I feel like I am hesitant on me personally, Jeremy, having a good grasp on their future and what their vision is, right? I know it's on agentics. I know they're going in heavy, but I don't know where that game plays out long term. I mean, short term. I mean, companies go down quickly, right? Ships go down quickly. And that's just that's my concern. And my concern is you used to be able to identify UiPath as a key product, right? As like they're leader of the pack in this space. But if I look at agentics and what's going on in that space, I don't know if I say that UiPath is the leader in that field. I think orchestration, they're still the leader, but I think that they're playing ball with everybody else as opposed to maybe being at the forefront of this wave.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
Tell me I'm crazy, or tell me I'm
No, I
love to hear your thoughts.
I still believe they are, on the forefront of the spec. They are the alpha wolf.
Yeah.
From the tech, leading the charge. But one thing that concerns me, and it's slightly different than your perspective.
Yeah.
You may agree or you may not, but I grew up coding in platforms that wouldn't change ever, right? So when there was a change, it would be over long periods of time. So and I'm talking about like C, C++, C Sharp, those technologies that and they were agnostic, like you could code in C++ on Linux, on Windows, whatever you want. So you can create your systems and migrate them to a different company. You just needed C++ developers.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing, and it kind of worries me a little bit, is so much changes. They are changing all the time. And I told you that I got this gig as a professor on a Toronto college, and one of the courses that I'm going to work with is UiPath.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and while I was creating the content that is going to be presented to the students.
Yeah.
I had to create some automations, right? And I haven't done that for quite some time, but not so much, not so long ago. I would say a couple of years, right? Without actually creating an automation on Studio, which is, it's a fair amount of time, but not enough to see that much of changes. And it's the Studio in itself, it's so different. It's so different, so much more capabilities and options and features and whatnot. And I got myself Googling how to do stuff on the Studio because I couldn't find.
Yep.
And then I got myself thinking, my God, where is this going to stop?
Yeah.
Will I ever be? No, I will never be 100% capable, right, on something. But when I will stop the need of just studying a tool all the time,
bro. I mean, that ties right back into what I led in with the high tech, right? It's the wave. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't keep, the waves are coming into shore constantly. And if you don't keep swimming out there to hop on the wave, you're going to get stranded on the beach, right? If everybody does, it's like, am I just going to stick with, is this going to be the one? Is this the stack? Is this the tech? Is this the one that I ride out on? So, I completely agree with that concept. And when you were talking about it, it brought up another key risk to me, right? Another key risk that I see with the product, and it's something that I've been calling, well, not I, but a collective group, is just the licensing, right? I can't talk about, I'm not going to talk about on the stream what I deal with in my job currently, right? One day I won't work here, and I think that just the story about what I've dealt with here would be worth the book. The topic is very interesting. When you're an MVP and you send a DM directly to Daniel, like something's crazy, right? And I'll just leave it at that. So I have an issue with like the licensing. It just feels like it feels like licensing is such like after the fact, like they're building this really cool, they got some cool new product, and then like they're ready to push it out, and they're like, here, test it. It's it's in the insider preview, try it out, and then they're ready to sell it, and they don't even know what the price should be at, and then they're kind of just like, hey. And so I think I see that as a fundamental roadblock when you're a $1 billion company trying to grow. When at the fundamental piece of your company is software, whether it's agentic or it's just RPA, and licenses are so hard to consume, and they change just as much as Studio does. that, you know, I think that it makes that makes it scary for me too, right? When I'm really thinking about, if you have all of these parts and then we're trying to build something as complex as, you know, agents, I think that there's still a lot to be desired. But anyway, I don't want to take the whole stream over. You're talking about this thought. It popped in my head. I do, because I have one of my really good buddies who I built a startup with, Jorge Rincon, one of the guys that I co-founded Jolt with. He was there for years, and he's accepted a new role. I see that, who else was it? I mentioned just the other day, there was a guy that I respected, Chris Caldwell, right? If you look at that gentleman, he was a very interesting pedigree. He came from a similar line that I did, where he started in financial services and was in RPA before anybody else was, helped grow and blow out a CEO, and helped, you know, scale value, and then joined UiPath and started off, you know, customer success, and eventually took over engineering sales teams and did a great job. But now he's, you know, doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, so much shakeup. I know it kind of, I know we talked about it for a minute, but I'm really curious, right? And I'm concerned when I've spent a good chunk of my life investing in a software, both building businesses that sell it and customers that use it, convincing them to leverage it, right? I definitely care about the direction. But what else are you seeing? What other crazy stuff? It's been a week since we cracked our last beer. What else is on your mind? You're talking about that, but there's got to be more. You were talking about vehicles.
Well, in my mind, a lot that has going through it is this U.S. and Canada. I wouldn't say fight. I wouldn't say, I don't know what word to use, but there's a lot of things going on.
Bro, let's talk about it. I'm not above it. You know, unfortunately, I don't look, I'm not in the politics too much. So I want to hear what your opinion is, and I'll tell you whether I think it's shitty or I'll be honest with you, you know? Yeah, rapid fire.
Well, essentially, Trump is trying to, my perspective, Trump is trying to change the rules and get some advantage from Canada. On his opinion, he may think that we are taking advantage on him. I don't know. I don't know the truth. I don't know the numbers, you know, down there. Yeah. Who is selling more, who is buying more, and who is taking advantage on who. But this is shaking the whole country here, and we, like, here in Canada, we just talk about that.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Oh, really?
And I know and I know on the U.S. side, you may have so much more going on that you may not be even pay attention to Canada, right? To this trade war.
Yeah.
But here in Canada, we just talk about that.
Right? Yeah. No. Absolutely.
But one thing that is blowing my mind is what Elon Musk is doing with his new role in the government, the Doge.
Yeah.
The Doge, right? I saw this week that he just cut off the U.S. aid, the whole department, because he deemed to be worthless.
Yeah, what I saw about that too, right, is it was an organization designed to provide funding to, you know, foreign entities all around the world. There was something like $70+ billion funneled into this program, and you know, that's a problem, though. I think, like, what you led into this when you were like, you know, you guys probably got a lot going on and not really following just the Canada war. I think that's the problem with a lot of Americans too, right? There's just always so much going on. I mean, first of all, that program itself, $70 billion was going into this. And if you were probably to go ask 100 Americans about this program, I'm willing to put a paycheck that 99 out of 100 people in America had never even heard of the program. Yeah. You know, but yet $70 billion is going into it, you know, and so I don't.
What bugs me is, according to Elon Musk, this is not worth having. And if we look at the financial perspective, of course, it's not worth it, right? Because you are just giving out money.
Depending on what it is, it could be.
Because, it's humanitarian help, right?
Yeah.
Aid.
Yeah.
So you are giving money to poor countries to save people, but like it's charity, I would say, right?
In a way, I understand. I think that's why some people are angry about it. Look, I don't like it. Really doesn't. I think it's messed up. I know one of the things that they called out was like, well, they can't, you know, provide traceability where the funds are going, and so that's why they're shutting the stuff down. Like, I don't like. My personal opinion on this is like, and again, for anybody who knows me personally, they know that I don't have a hand in politics, right? I'm about to turn 40 in like 2 weeks, and I've never, and I've never voted my entire life. Not once. I don't even think I voted in high school for the student president. Like, I could give literally two shits, right? I think that.
Why?
The reason that me myself in 40 plus years, not that I could have voted before I was eligible to vote, but two reasons. Well, first of all, like I put my country's flag on my shoulder and I went and fought at war. Right, I fought for freedom. I earned a combat action badge by motherfuckers shooting RPGs at my face. Right, this is real life shit. And so in that aspect, in that regard, I feel like it's my personal right to not give a shit if I won. I served my country. I did my shit. If I don't want to vote, that's my right. I don't have to. And then second, that's only half of it. And the other half of the reason that I don't vote and I don't give a shit is because I personally think that most of this shit is complete bullshit. I think that our political system is completely fucked. I think our political system itself, as how it's designed, is completely flawed. And until somebody wants to just fix the entire system, I think it's just bullshit, right? Whatever, Trump is who he is as a president. I think personally he's just, he's a big ass bully and a successful businessman because of his mannerisms in that aspect. But I mean, I wouldn't, if I was a voter, I probably wouldn't have voted for him, but I don't know who I'd vote for again, because I don't get involved. But I mean, like, people deal with, like, if anything, I don't like Trump. But I think that he's probably an expert politician because this is what most of these people probably are like, behind closed doors, right? He just doesn't put up a facade. But I think a lot of this bullshit that I'm seeing, I don't agree with. But again, I'm sort of in the spot where, people are like, well, you don't vote, so why do you have an opinion? So most of the time, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. In my personal opinion, no matter how good or how bad it gets, in another 4 years, some asshole is going to come in and tell us what he wants to do with the country, and things will change again, right? I just don't get involved, right? Until somebody shows up and says, hey, politics, the way that we do them are just fundamentally wrong, and we should switch and do it like this. I really don't care what they do because it's just going to go up and down, and believe me, it has an impact. It truly has an impact on people and in certain situations. But fortunately for me, that shit never has doesn't have a long-term impact on me, right? Stocks and bonds and properties. I've tried to set myself up to insulate me from any politics or nonsense that they could bring. Right. But I mean, that's why I voted, Joe. You asked season 2, we finally got into it, and now right. And so I don't, I went to war again so people could have the right to vote and vote for whoever they want. They think that guy is the best thing since sliced bread and they want to talk about that on social. Good for them. I don't give a shit, hey,
nice.
But
yeah. And this is what I like about, freedom of speech.
Exactly.
Because you can speak, what is up on your mind.
Yep.
And I also don't vote for quite a long time. But the problem in Brazil is that it's required. It's the law. If you don't vote, like, you get penalties. There's
That's crazy, bro. Like, I would be, so, Joe, I would still, if that were me, I'd still just be paying fines. Like, I still wouldn't vote, and I would just pay fines.
I pay fines.
Just fine me. I'll read about it.
Because it's like $5.
Yeah,
the problem is, so if you don't pay and if you don't vote and you don't pay the fines, then you get your passport canceled. You cannot renew your passport, for example. You cannot.
Trump's not going to let you come over here anyway. He's going to close it down, bro. You're not even nobody's allowed, even if someone as cool as you, Joe, you're not allowed anyway. That's crazy, but hey, go to there, man. Hey, I felt so bad. I was going to tell Diana today in the MVP. Hopefully she doesn't watch this or she's going to find out, but I was going to mention that I'm not going to be able to go to Turkey, right? Like, I'm not going to You know, it's kind of
me neither. Me
it's
neither.
rough.
And I don't, I can't, I won't go
I
there.
I agree that it'll be like a lifetime experience, right? I guarantee like all the MVPs in one spot, and since they're not doing like regional summits, they're probably gonna put the budget on that, right, and really do something.
Hey, but
cool.
with all due respect, I love the MVPs. It's a fantastic community. You know, Diana, Vibor, everybody that works with us. But as much as I love you and everybody in the community, like Istanbul is just such a far away place, man. It's so expensive to go there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know my wife.
It is on the east side of Europe, right? And by the way, for those that are listening, they may not understand what we are talking about, right? But
oh, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I don't think we can disclose that right now. But then.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Oh yeah. Damn, I know, right? We probably just gonna spill all sorts of beans we weren't supposed to. I mean, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if I was going to the MVP summit this year because I don't know if I'm an MVP. First of all, so I won't know until those announcements are made. But if I were, I probably wouldn't be going. Same with Joe.
Thankfully, our audience is not that big, so we are not going to get in trouble here.
Yeah, right. We might get canceled next year, but they'll have to bring it back. Joe, we're quickly switching subjects because nobody's trying to get canceled before the announcements are made. So, outside of Turkey, do you have any plans this year? Are you going anywhere? Does Joe have any trips planned?
Well, I was planning to go to Brazil. You know, it's been 5 years that I'm Canada up here, and I haven't seen my family in person. So I was initially planning for a March break and then going down to Brazil, but I kind of already changed plans. So it's going to be probably August, sometime during the summer. Right?
How is it in Brazil in the summer? It's hot.
No, it's cold because when it's summer here, it's winter there.
No, that's crazy. There you go.
Yeah, but it's not as cold as Canada, you know. So right now it must be like -5 down outside, you know. But in Brazil, the coldest that it can get is like 0 or -2.
Oh, okay.
The coldest day, right? So
that's not. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So yeah, so it's still possible to go, you know, to warm places even during the winter, and the whole this greenhouse effect like has changed a lot. So last year we noticed that even during the winter, like temperatures were above 20 Celsius.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so which should be like 70.
I was about to say, wait a minute, you gotta, for us dummies in America, help me calculate that. You gotta translate that.
Yeah, 70 Fahrenheit, you know, roughly, I would say 68 maybe. So
that's good. That's nice.
It's nice. It's a nice temperature. So
nice.
But,
so I was. I don't think I got any plans to travel, to be honest, just because with a kid on the way, and you know, diapers and formula are you know, you have to donate organs in order to afford them. So
I think already stocking diapers.
No, I need to be. I got told the summer in June, but I need to start stocking diapers for the last time. I'm gonna try this Maker's Mark. So Joe, is not even a full shot. It looks like a really good bottle, so I wanted to try it without anything. So just cheers to you, brother. I want to try it.
Cheers. By the way, you just really said it's going to be the last one. Did you?
45 in 10 days, Redneck. He's turning 45 too. Somebody in chat, he said he was turning 45 in 10 days. That's awesome, brother. Well, dude, I don't believe that. I see this guy all the time too. He streams on some live stuff, and he looks 10 years younger than me. So I'm impressed. So I was blown away by the fact that he was only 45.
Where is the chat? I'm not seeing the chat.
Oh, in Twitch. Remember, so season 2, right? I started doing it on Twitch. I know you're not on that platform yet. So I'm building.
So you, with that, we achieved our goal that we established last year, which was to stream on at least
multiple. There we go.
And you know what? I was thinking about that this week, and I thought, okay, let me because you know me, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, I don't have anything other than LinkedIn and YouTube. So I thought, okay, let me see how Twitter or X is right now. So I went there, I created my account, and then I went through the process. I created my account. It looks fine, but then I thought, I don't want my account. I want I want an account for Bots and Beers, but it seems we cannot have pages like for
like business, like or
businesses. Yeah, so it's just people. I found so weird.
On what platform? I think you said Twitter. On Twitter
X,
or no? On X?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and that it's totally possible because I am a dumbass with social media. So yeah, it can be that. But I didn't find a way to create a page. And then I asked ChatGPT, can I have a page? No, I asked like the XAI. You know,
Grok.
Grok.
Yeah.
Can I create a page? Can I create a page for my podcast? And then he said, "Oh, of course, you can go to Wix, you can go to, this other website and create your own page." And then, no. I mean, here on X, can I create my
page? Yeah, of course. I don't know Wix. Oh my god. My buddy sent me. He sent me a video earlier where somebody was like asking DeepSeek if it send your information. It was like, do you send my data to China? And it was like, no, I don't send you. And he had like his phone plugged up to a trace route, so it was showing where the packets were being sent, and it shows like Beijing, China. And then it's just like, no, I do not send your data to China. And it's like, bro, I literally see you sending all my packets to China. So what do you think about that? Is that dangerous? DeepSeek AI? You've been using it? The China open?
No, I didn't even touch. But yeah, I don't want my data going to China. But honestly speaking, I don't know what is the worst, if it's going to China or going to Elon Musk. So.
That's valid. Nice one. That's legit. I don't know which is worse. Hey, man, pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. True stories, Joe.
And you know what? I used to like him. I used to like him a lot because he was like this entrepreneur guy. He built so many other businesses and he created this amazing, world with so many companies. But he's still a really good businessman, but he is an asshole, to be honest.
But like I sent my friends this exact message today in reference to Elon Musk. And my message was, anybody like the richest guy on the face of the planet, right? More or less, is maybe I'm one or two competing with him, but basically the richest guy on the planet, pretty smart. I agree with you, pretty smart individual, but still wants to be seen as a good video game player so bad that he'll lie to people about it. If I told my friends like humanity has no shot. If the richest guy on the planet who can have whatever he wants, and this guy just wants to be seen as a good gamer, and that he'll lie about it, like what is wrong?
I don't know what is that.
Oh, you haven't heard about Elon Musk and this gaming debacle? It happened a couple of months ago. So
I heard that he was like the best on Diablo.
So yeah, I think it was Diablo, probably one of something like that, where he claims that he's one of the best in the world, that he's on top of Rome Dog. Hey, he knows. He claims that he was on top of the world leaderboard. Like he's one of the best, like 100, 250 players on the planet. He's like, here's my character, and you can see him up there. But he did a live stream on X one day of the game, like just this like gamers do. He decided to stream his gameplay, and he was playing in a manner that noobs would play. Like experts in the game are like, whoa. Like he was playing and he walked by this super precious orb that dropped down. He like slayed some beast and it dropped this super precious orb, and he like walks right past it, and any like known top player would be like, holy shit, that's a super rare one. And then just like other things when he's like going through the menu, like the way that he was organizing stuff, to like, did you know, you don't do that unless you're like, been playing it for like a month. Like this is how quick people are. This is how you organize your stuff. stuff. And so like they went off. They're like, dude, this guy's flat out lying, bro. He doesn't play Diablo or whatever the hell the game was. It's crazy.
By the way, speaking of which, on our shared folder that we share our files, the videos and whatnot, you put a video and I couldn't, man, I went there. Honestly speaking, I couldn't follow you, and you were playing this. I don't even know which game is that, and it was so quick. I was thinking, no, you must be speeding up the video. You edit it and you speed up, to X the actual speed of the video. It was so fast, man. What game is that?
That's Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty, man. That's what I play. Yeah, it's like
My God, man, how do you play that? That fast?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's crazy. It's fast. That's just years of playing. It probably looks fast to me, but it seems slow. It just seems slow. I said that to you because you're making that joke. You're like, did you forget something? So I made the joke. Like, here's the video. But that's funny. Yeah, no, that's some people here. I think I've seen that too. I shared it in the Discord. But yeah, I was playing with some old veterans that I met in a Discord. They're like gamers and stuff, and so I joined their game. We were playing for that one night, and I just had some good clips. But yeah, it's Call of Duty.
Do you remember that the last year I was playing some games on PS5? Actually, one game, it was Mad Max, and I told you, right, that I was playing. It was really good, and I like it. And one day I was at home, and before I started playing, the PS5 shows how many hours you spend.
Oh yeah.
On the game was 100 hours, 99 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought how many things I could do in 100 hours, right? And to be honest with you, I was doing some projects on the side. We talked about this offline, but I was doing some projects on the side, and I almost couldn't deliver what I was supposed to deliver. And then I thought, my God, 100 hours. I could double.
I could have done this twice.
Here. Right. And I just, my God, no, man, I don't want to do this.
Bro.
I deleted all my games.
Yeah. It's insane, bro. I feel you. Like Call of Duty, when it dropped, for some dumb reason, like I haven't, I play Call of Duty. It's like one of my passions. I love to play it. I've been playing it for 20 years now. But they have this like progression system called Prestige. Like it's Prestige in a ranking. Mm-hmm. And I've only 20 years, like 10, 15, 20 different CODs. I've only like maxed that system out like, once or twice ever. And so this one came out and I was really having fun. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to max Prestige this. And so when the game dropped, dude, I turned into a gremlin. Right, I'm in this office right here. The door's closed just like that, and I got this window up and the fan going. And I am sweating. I'm just like hours. There are days, when I'm like, I'm falling asleep, Joe. I'm falling asleep with this thing. I'm like, dude, one more rank, and I'm just like playing. And it took me like, when I looked at the time, like it tells you, I think it said it took 14 days to get Master Prestige. I mean, most people like it's meant to be done for like then during a year, right? You have the whole year while the game's out, and I did it like in a month and a half. Like I was just like, gonna grind this thing for the reward. So it can get like that if you don't like put some rails up or you don't know what you're doing. 15K Halo games here. Yeah. Lots of waste of time. 15,000 Halo games. That's serious. No,
man. It's just not for me. And you know what?
It is for me. I'm all about it.
After I quit, I didn't quit. I just removed the games that I was addicted to. Not addicted, that I was playing a lot. And like I've done so much in the last 2 months, one month and a half, 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. I worked a lot. I did a lot of things, not only on my regular normal job. And
you were grinding. I remember we talked about that. Yeah.
And I've been one very silly thing. I've been watching a series with my wife, and we are
that's cool.
Almost done on season 2, and I don't remember the last time that I did with her this kind of thing. Right?
That's good. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. So, I don't want to spend time just playing games anymore.
Oh, dude.
If I could, if I could, play like a couple of hours per week, I would.
Yeah.
But the problem is these games are so addictive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and so like mine is it's a little bit different, right? Like it's the same scenario, but the issue is when I started playing Call of Duty like 20 years ago, a group of guys could get on that game and play together and just have fun, right? It wasn't gaming 20 years ago wasn't what it was today, right? It's
online,
not,
right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was starting to be online. Yeah, Xbox 360, they had some multiplayer, but it wasn't as big. But I mean, you take it now, like people literally get on Twitch and it's their job, right? They ain't making money like you and I make money in the corporate world, right? But they're making like they're making money they're getting by. A guy like my friends, people like, you and I, like I play with these guys and they hop on and they're like you. They don't sit here and play like me. They get on once or twice a week. And when they get on, like they get their ass stomped, right? Sometimes they can catch a rhythm and start playing good. But it's like they get on and they play for like 2 or 3 hours and they get crushed. It's not enjoyable, right? It's not like when games weren't competitive. Now games are so damn competitive. Like you get in for a guy that like he's playing this for tips, he's playing this for money and he don't care what he's got to do. He probably even using hacks, right? Some people cheat, just to, to get, followers and clout and stuff. And so like you get in on a Friday night and you pick your controller up and you want to just play. If you're the kind of guy who only plays a couple hours, like you're going to get on and you're not going to have a lot of fun unless your team's like carrying you to wins. And so for me, because I am so damn competitive, and you and I have had this conversation, I talked about on a previous episode, I'm just so competitive. Like that is so unenjoyable to me that I find myself spending hours, not just necessarily playing the game because it's just so much fun, even though I enjoy it. I play hours just so when I hop on, I can like shit on people, right? So I'm not getting destroyed. I want to be able to enjoy my time, and it is like, bro, I played in the game the other day, and the clip that you saw, man, we were crushing people, and it's just fun. Like I love doing that. I love like killing people in the game, and they're like, oh, they're whining in their headsets. There's nothing funner to that than hearing people complain when I put them down. But anyway, so that's why I do it, because I can't, if I didn't play this much, then I wouldn't play at all, because I simply couldn't play for 2 or 3 hours and have a good time. I would end up quitting. It would be unbearable for me and I would quit.
Yeah, but then you are talking about online games, like playing with other real people. The type of, that's not my type of game anymore. So the game that I like is like RPG.
There you go. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. People do that on Twitch all the time too.
Yeah, so it's like just myself playing against the game, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No,
yeah, because see, and we've talked about video games in the past, but the thing that I like a lot in these new games, like, because I didn't play for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then I bought this PS5 for my daughter.
Got you.
I got, I saw myself playing more than her.
That's how
I
it
was
works.
playing games. I played essentially three games a lot. Jedi, two versions of the Jedi, and
nice. Those are
Mad
good games.
Max.
Yeah.
Because they are RPG and they have a history, right?
Yeah.
Both of them come out of movies that I love.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And when I play, I feel inside of the story.
You're immersed in there.
Dude. I am a character on the movie,
bro. And I don't want to get your make you start itching to do this, but if you do like those kind of games, were you ever an Indiana Jones fan?
Nah,
not too much. Okay, with some of the titles you were saying, I was thinking like maybe, but I heard that this new Indiana Jones game that came out is supposed to be like banger. Everybody's talking about like it's like it's like you're in the movie, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or the Tomb. It's like you're in there. So
I don't want to see it. After I removed my Mad Max, so I thought, okay, let me take a look on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
and I found this game called Ronin. Ronin.
Ronin, yeah.
Ronin is a samurai.
Yeah.
That essentially got expelled. I think it's expelled. So Ronin, it's a samurai that doesn't have a master.
Mm.
I think it's something on those lines,
Interesting.
right? And there's a movie from with Keanu Reeves. He's I think it's 49th.
Yeah, the last Ronin. Oh yeah.
Oh, the last Ronin. I remember I read a book about it as well, about Ronins. But anyway,
yeah,
I found this game Ronin, and because all the Keanu Reeves movie, the book that I read, let me see, and I downloaded the demo, the demo of the game. It was so fucking good, man.
He's like, I was like, loved it. I loved
it. It was amazing.
Nice.
But then I played for like 1 hour or two, just the beginning, and I thought, man, I'm not. No,
you can see where. You can see where you're going to be headed if you're like just dove
it's
off.
a rabbit hole.
Oh my god!
I'm going to spend like 20 hours per week here on this game. I don't want this. And then I deleted.
You'd be like Redneck. He's like, I grind daily, and he's like, I still suck. So you don't want to put all that hours in. I feel you, man. I feel you. No, that's cool though. I know a lot. I know the genre is pretty big, right? A lot of people play those kind of games, and they can really, especially like RPGs. You can find yourself sinking hours into that, building characters or environments and stuff like that. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. There's this one. I don't know if it's only for kids, but the one that you build stuff. How do they call?
Roblox or
it's a
or Minecraft.
Yeah. Minecraft.
Yeah.
And people just like spend hours and hours. I've seen kids playing that, and my daughter even wanted to play, but I didn't let her play.
Yeah. People can get kind of involved in some of those games. I have that issue too. Like I have a kid, a teenager, and I just wish sometimes that like young people could just like view like time as their currency versus money, right? Like forget about money and just look at your time. Like you get up in the morning and you got a checkbook and you write yourself a check for 20 hours. Like where are you going to spend those hours, right? And like as a kid, I feel like you got so much time to kind of experiment and mess up. So yeah, of course, go do some stuff. But I feel like time spent early on when you're a teenager and stuff, or building skills, is just can be compounded so much later on in life that it's weird because a part of me gets it. The way I game, like a part of me gets it. I see like my kids game and like get it. But a part of me, like I'm like, dude, don't waste your time. Like, dude, you're gonna have the rest of your life to game. Like, they're going to be making video games till you die. They'll be here. Go do something productive with your time, right? I'm old as I'm about to retire. And, just like grandma used to watch Jeopardy. I don't like that shit, so I'm going to play some games. Right? So that's what I do. But I mean, I don't, I think that I wish kids would put it off because my 4-year-old, I had to me and my wife put a timer on his iPad because he's got these new games where he plays and they rolls the ball. You got to keep the ball and you roll it and you keep it on the track. And bro, he is straight flat addicted. And he is so good at it. Like he's as 4 years old playing this game, and I'm a gamer. At 4 years old, he's already at such high levels on this game. He'll ask me to help and I'll try. Dude, I can't do it. I said, I can't play. I'm not that good. I can't beat this level for you. You got to do it. I had to put a timer. So every hour he's got to come up to me and ask me to like, hey, can I have more time? Because he's just like into the game. I'm like, geez, bro, games are crazy.
Yeah, but this time management comes with maturity as well.
Man, I forgot to put Mixer in there. Sorry, that was straight Maker's Mark.
So today I can say that I am good with time management. To what I want to do. But back in the day when I was a teenager, or even when I started working, I was so bad, man. I was so bad. Time management and money management.
I know, but you just said something though, very valuable. You said, but when I was working. You know what I mean? Were you working as a kid too, like a teenager? And like, did you have a...
Yeah, I started working when I was 11.
And this is like my thing. And this is my thing too. Like I did too, right? I started working in, like in middle school and high school.
What was your first job?
Oh,
sorry
dude.
to cut you off,
no, bro. It was shit. My very first job was my dad taking me and dropping me off at this old farmer's property and I was basically an indentured servant. Like I just did whatever I would mow like his 10-yard lane. I would, fix I would do whatever, picking up trees. It's just like I was the handyman for the property. That was my first job, and it was horrible. Sometimes this old fart. Sometimes he didn't even pay me in cash. He would take me to the diner and give me food, and then be like, "All right, there's your check for the day." And I'm thinking, like, dude, I didn't need no food. Like, bro, yeah. So that was my first, like, working on a farm, like, just helping some guy out around, like, just for cash.
My first job was like 11, I think, and the first time that I worked for someone, it was not a garage. I don't know how do you call this in English, but if you crash your car, so
Like repair shop.
kind of repair, but back in the day, like in a really small town, like 10,000 people in the countryside of Brazil. So everybody's really poor. So the cars were like the old Beetle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the old Beetle was our prime customer.
Yeah, right. There you go. You fixed it up.
They are almost pure metal. They are not like aluminum or something easy to work with. They are pure metal, and so they are hard to work. So welding or fixing the whole.
Yeah, like doing all the
It's hard
fenders.
for me to tell because this is not a vocabulary that I usually.
Yeah, these words
about, right?
in English.
But yeah, it's pretty rough, man, to work with that.
That's
That
crazy.
was my first job. And I remember my first paycheck. So the first paycheck that I got was like $10 for a whole month worth of work.
You're balling out, man. You're balling out. Like, bro, I don't. Yeah, I had a couple of jobs, but I mean, my point still like sits, right? I like I look at my teenage son, right? He was held back in kindergarten. So even though he's 18, he still has one more year of school left. He's a junior, right? So he should have graduated, but he was held back in kindergarten. But I mean, by the time I was 18, like I'd already had multiple jobs, right? I had multiple different jobs, and some of them were like serious physical labor, like hauling hay. I'm on a farm hauling square bales of hay, loading them up on the back of a trailer. Right. And so, or shingling roofs in people's houses in the summer. But so I get like, yeah, like our time management might have been a little off, but I feel like earlier generations just had a different work ethic too. Like it was kind of just instilled in us, like from young ages to like, hey, get out there and, go work, And like, I see something like my teenage son, on his phone playing a video game, on his phone. And like, yeah, work sucks, but you're probably learning some type of skill, right? More than what you're doing sitting on the couch doing nothing. And so yeah, time management may have been a thing, but I mean, we were always doing something, right? We were, whether you're working or you're going to school. And like my family and my household, they were like, hey, bro, you're either playing sport, you're either working or you're playing sports. And so I was like, well, I don't want to work, so I don't play sports. So, I played as many sports as I could till it was off, there's no sports. In the summer, I would work. But yeah, no, I don't. So I think it's different. I don't know. And then you have this whole anti-work movement, right? People that just don't want to work. They're like, yeah. In America, it's
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I wish I knew.
But then, are they going to survive out of light?
They living with their family, man. Living with moms and dads, and sometimes that stuff happens. But I can't. Right, there's people that's their approach. Like, I'm just going to live with my family.
It happens, but someone has to work. Things don't grow on trees.
That's facts. Those are facts, brother. So.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the problem. I don't want to judge. I am a parent. My daughter is 13, and I know there's a lot of things for her to go through still.
Yep.
So I don't want to judge other parents the way they grow their kids.
Yeah.
But I see so many weird things.
Yeah.
That at least put me to think about it. If I am not, because one thing that I talk a lot with my wife, and I love her for many. She has so many qualities, but one thing that it stands out is we have such a good relationship that we can talk about virtually anything.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing that we always talk is, man, when I go outside and I see a parent, teaching some really something that I really disagree with,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I have to wonder that parent maybe think that is right
Yeah.
on their perspective. So, but who is wrong here? Like, or maybe
Hmm.
I'm deviating a little bit, but one thing that we always say is what kind of things that we are doing that the others may think that is wrong. Not that we
Mm.
care, but it's more like, am I doing something wrong and not noticing it?
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
That's a very interesting topic, right? Maybe I'm just too much of a narcissist to think that I do too much wrong, but I never consider what other people are thinking about my child. Like, hey, I already know what some people are thinking, right? I'll give you an example. When my son was 2 years old, I think, we're visiting my sister down in Carolina, and my mother was there, and we're all at a restaurant. We're at like it's called, I think, the Crab Shack. So we're having seafood. There's like lobsters and stuff. And my 2-year-old was there, and he was in the little booster seat or whatever, the high chair, and he just wasn't having it. Right? He wasn't having it. He was like throwing a fit, and he wanted to get out of the chair. And I remember, as he started to throw the fit, I was taking care of him. I took him, picked him up. I can't remember what happened, but more or less the situation here was my mom was like, "Oh, just let him force him to stay in the chair. He'll be fine." I'm like, he's in distress. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna force him to sit in that chair. But that's exactly how she would have raised me and like my sisters, right? Like, I don't care. You're the kid. You're gonna sit in the chair, be quiet, and so while I generally don't concern myself, like I don't give a damn like what people say generally, sometimes people just kind of intrude their opinions on you about what you're doing, right? And so I usually having to share a word with them, but I do find myself on the opposite end where I'll see some parent doing something and I'll be like, that's fucked up. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that to your kid, man. And I even deal with it here too, right? Not to bring up too much, inter-home drama, but just the real life, right? I mean, my mother-in-law lives here, and she, like, the way that she interacts with my son, the 4-year-old, and the way that I interact with him are two totally different, And she'll just yell at him for maybe he'll spill something. Back in the day, as my parents would yell at me. I have an ice cream cone, I drop it, just took one bite, and my parent would be like, "What the hell? Pay attention." And then I'm just like, he looks at me and he's like, "Papa, it's just an accident. It's okay, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, bro. It's just an accident. Don't worry about it." And so, I while I do see that some parents have different ones, I think that it's just weird, right? Because the world, you want your kid to experience life in a certain light, right? You want them to kind of grow and mature at a certain rate. Everybody's kind of entitled to that. But what I found, and when I started thinking about that question specifically, is I found that the world's going to share their shit with your kids no matter what, right? Your kids are going to eventually hear it, see it, experience it. So what's even more important than what you do, initially and what your responses are is to make sure that you just, I think, talk it out with your kid when they experience stuff or they see something or you correct them or whatever it is. Like, I found that, young kids are definitely, they understand more than we think. And so when I see that kind of stuff, I definitely judge other parents and I try to, like, when my kid brings stuff up or why is this happening? I try to make sure they understand, even when they're in trouble. Like, even when my kid does something wrong, if I'm taking him to a timeout, and as a 4-year-old, I'm still like telling him, like, this is why we're doing this, right? You understand this is what you did and this is what we're here. Sometimes he don't want to hear it. Sometimes he'll scream at me, cry, tears coming down his face, stomping on the bed saying, "Leave, get out of here, Papa." And as soon as I turn around, "Come back, Papa." So I mean, they don't always get it, but that's my policy.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was when we got our daughter, I was this kind of parent that would yell because that's the way I was. My parents, that I knew, but my wife, interesting because my wife also had a really rough childhood, but she had a totally different perspective when we were raising our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she would talk, still to this day, she talks a lot. She talks so much that sometimes I just, sneak out and just let the two talking to each other.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. My parents yelled a lot. I get it.
Yeah, but I thought that yelling was the way, and just beating them was also the way. But I changed myself.
It's good. That's good. I found myself in that same position with my 4-year-old because like my wife and I had an agreement because I was beat as a kid, right? I borderline abuse, right? Because my father had an anger issue. Both my real dad and my stepdad, and I had to deal with that. And so I told my wife, I'm like, hey man, ain't nobody laying hands on my kids, right? No, that's our agreement. I don't care how pissed off you get. Ain't no spankings. Like that's just life. They ain't getting no whoopings. I ain't putting no hands on them. I can't understand it, right? If they're not old enough to reason with, then why are you hitting them, right? They don't understand. If they're old enough to reason with, then why are you hitting them, So, but there was a negative side effect because I found myself with my 4-year-olds starting to yell a lot because I found that was my only tool, right? Because I've already agreed that I'm not going to put my hands on my kids, and sometimes timeout isn't effective. And so I found myself like just my kid yells at me and then I just return it, right? I yell back at them. Like, don't be yelling at me. And so I agree with you. I found myself kind of reverting to that behavior because I felt like it was my only thing. I've done a lot better. Even as a dad, right, not trying to be too oversharing, but I've gotten emotional at the evening times because after a long day at work or something, like we'll get into a argument and he'll yell at me and I'll yell at him, and then I'll see that like he'll ask me for something, I'll be like no because I'm upset, and then he'll cry, he'll get emotional, and I realize like he's upset and he's yelling. And I'm yelling back, and I don't curse at him or anything like that. I call him a bastard sometimes because he calls me a dirty bad beast. So I'm like, I ain't a dirty beast, you bastard. But sometimes he'll cry, and then I'll fall asleep or something, and I'll think about it. I'm like, dude, he's just a little kid. I'm using this as a defense mechanism because I don't want to put my hands on him because I'm getting angry. So I yell sort of as a balance, but then that still has an impact too, right? Just because they're angry and yelling. So I've been there. I've had to deal with that myself, right? But we're all parents. Like nobody's great, but I'm still happy to this day, right? He's 4 years old, and man, as that dude ran his mouth to me more than a 4-year-old should, but never once has he ever had a spanking. I mean, he's tested me. Like he's tested me, bro. Like I've picked him up and like took him to the bedroom and set him on the bed and said, bro, you stay in here, because I've been upset. But so I think that we all learn, right? We learn from experience, and I think that each of us have our own ways, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, but it's good that we look back and we see the issues or we see the problems that we face, right?
Yeah.
And we are able to
break the chain.
We grow from there.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of learning from mistakes.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of family, I hear that 4-year-old. He is yelling, bro. He is yelling. So
yeah, I was about to say that
your bladder's gonna explode too. But exactly. is there anybody still here? If we got any viewers here in the chat, somebody throws in bots, they're gonna get some free beer money. We'll cash app them after this. So all you gotta do is throw.
I count?
No, Joe, you'll never count. You'll never be able to get free beer money. So if you're still here and you type in bots, I know that I have a couple of people still on Cash App, and we'll hook them up with some free beer money. And I'll start marketing this, Joe, where we'll do like I get paid on paydays. When somebody's like, they're not putting in this Cash App because she's like, you hook me up enough, bro, I'm good. Oh man, so some beautiful people. Well, if I ain't got no takers, we'll save it. We'll push it forward. Joe, I'm gonna start our theme music to get us out of here. Awesome. You have any last minute thoughts?
What can I say, man? It's been a pleasure again, and this is the time of the week that I don't like too much because we are closing the show, and then the countdown to the next one starts. So, out of all the many projects that I started last week, last year, actually, this is the one that I like the most. So I'm glad we are still here.
Dude, I love it, man. I'm so excited. I know that we'll have plenty of content for RPA and we'll have some enjoyable stuff to bring out. I can't wait. I think that our platform is going to continue to grow. We'll get on Twitter. We'll get somewhere, right? We'll get a social go one way or the other. But,
Yeah.
bro,
Hey,
yeah. Go ahead,
by the way,
brother.
send me an invite to this platform you are streaming. I wanna take a look at it.
There you go. There you go. I'll do it. You'll see some of these clips too, bro. I'll send you a link to it. You'll get in with some of these crew. We're growing. But until then, thank you so much if you guys checked out the podcast. If you're checking us out on Spotify later, thank you so much. Come and hit us up live. We give away free bear money. Joe, until next week, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
I love you, brother.
See you.
See you. Let's get out of here. Bum diddy, bum diddy. I'll never not love this song, man.